Hello, hello, lovely people. How is everyone doing today? I have a good session ahead for us. Uh, some interesting stuff, interesting questions. Some new Cartesian coordinates day. It's a really helpful one. It's a bit simpler than usual, so that will be good. If you are here in the house, say hello. Let me know. Looks like we don't have anyone live yet, and I know a few of you. Oh, all of a sudden, two people are here live. Oh, if you're here, can you say hello to me? Yes. Hi, Judy. And I have to remember to scroll this week. Hi, Red Mug Coffee Mama. I bet you've got a real name. I bet you weren't christened Red Mug Coffee Mama. But it's lovely to have you here. Welcome. And we will make a start. So tell me, guys, how did you get on with your commitments to yourself after last week's session? What did you learn? Hi, Helen. What did you notice? What did you move forward with? If you didn't move forward with something, what did you notice about what you did instead? How you felt that blocked you or stopped you from taking the actions you had intended to take? What can you learn? So have a little reflect back on the commitments that you took away from last week's session and think about the progress you've made, the insights you've gained, and the stuff that you've learned. If anyone had a big moment, that's what's going on with me, or I made a breakthrough, let us know. Share the love. Let other people know what you discovered, because often it's other people's insights in this group rather than mine that help us along. Awesome from last week. You know exactly what action you need to take now. Brilliant. Brilliant work, Red Mug Coffee Mama. Good for you. Angie, you have a name. I've just spotted your name. I'm really pleased for you, Angie. Hopefully you will get as much from this week's questions and prompts and skyrocket in the next week as well. So if anyone else had a move forward and would like to share it, then that is very welcome. And I will make a start on reading the questions for this week's session. So again, just a reminder, have something in mind. Hi, Mary. Have something in mind, whether it's a problem or challenge that you'd like to solve, or an area of your life you'd like to experience change in, or an accomplishment you'd like to make. Have something in your mind so that as I ask these questions, you are kind of honing your radar, your cognitive radar, on that area of your life that you'd like these questions and their energy to work with. And that will help you get the most from this. And if you're very diligent, then a pen and a piece of paper is a good move as well. Judy, I hear you. You moved forward, but it doesn't feel like enough. Okay, let's see what comes out of today's session. Maybe have that in mind as your question or challenge. And Angie, yeah, that happens. The questions, I draw the questions using an energy channeling process. And so somehow the universe knows, I think, and hits us with exactly what we need to hear. Or maybe the nature of the way the mind works is that we latch into and interpret exactly what we need to as we work through these questions each week. So that's what makes it so powerful, which is really lovely. And I'm glad it's helpful. And I'm scrolling today. Progress. So the goal setting question set that's come up this week is creation. We have had this one before. I'm not sure how recently, but it may be familiar. So this works from the principle that we have enormous power and resources to make things happen, to bring things into existence, everything that we want, to create our wildest dreams and goals and make them our reality. It starts, however, with having clarity of knowing what we want and really bringing that picture to life in our mind's eye, so that that reticular activating system that I mentioned last week or the week before knows to hone in on those things that are going to make us move forward in the direction of that vision we've created. So if we bring that to life and really paint a picture for ourselves, that becomes our focus, and we naturally align around that picture, and everything just starts shifting into alignment with it. So what are you creating for yourself? How does it look? How does it feel? And how does it sound when it is in existence? That's what we want to bring to life for ourselves in this first question set. So what would you love to create for yourself? Just take a moment to think about it. What would you love to create? And think about that area of your life that you want to focus on in today's session. What would you love to create for yourself in that part of your life, or in relation to that problem or challenge? What could you start that would be a completely new dimension to your life and bring fulfillment to you in that particular area of your life? Let's imagine that you can create a new life, a next iteration of your life, bringing all of the best bits of your life as it is now, plus that one really important difference. What would that difference be? And what would you need to transform or accomplish to make that difference real for yourself? So what are you creating? What can you start to bring that new dimension to that part of your life? Imagine that you can duplicate your life into a next version of it that just changes that one thing that needs to be changed to create fulfillment, to give you what you desire in that one area of your life. What would you need to transform? What would you need to accomplish to make that real? Because it can be done, and you can do it. So think about that thing that you need to transform or accomplish, and that's going to be the goal that we work with as we move through the next question sets. Mary, that is a lovely thing to create, helping women see their potential, break free from the beliefs and fears that are holding them stuck. I feel very aligned to that, Mary, myself, and a lot of the work I do is in a similar territory. Maybe there's a conversation for us to be had there. But so think about, what might you need to accomplish, or what might you need to transform to make that a reality for yourself? And let's move on to our reality questions. So these are the questions that aim to uncover maybe some truths that you're covering up or turning away from, maybe to notice the resources and capabilities you already have, or the conditions that you are waiting on to be right before taking action, when perhaps you can take committed action with everything that you have already. So just think about that transformation or accomplishment that's going to bring something into creation. And we have the energy card and reality. So to move forward or make change happen, we need to tap into the abundant energy that we all have within us. Sometimes we don't do quite the right things to harness that energy, or we don't channel it in quite the right way. This card is a reminder that you have the energy you need to create, to make that transformation or accomplishment real for yourself. And all you need to do is direct your energy into that space of creation, and you can do it. Okay, so take a moment and think to yourself, how do I show up when I am at my absolute best? Just take a moment to think about that, because that's the energy we want to harness to bring something into creation. How do you show up when you are absolutely at your best? When do you feel most empowered and most energized? How do you show up when you are in flow, in the zone? And now I want you to think about the things that energize me, the things that drain me. And if you're journaling or notepad and pen during this session, put 2 columns down and get really clear. What energizes me? What drains me? Yeah, so Mary, you get that confidence and passion and energy from working with your clients, and presumably from the transformation and the transfer of energy that takes place in that process. How can you harness that when you're reaching out to these organisations? Think about when you are at your most empowered and energised. How can you catch some of that so that when you reach out to those organisations, that's the energy that you pour into them? Because that's magnetic and transformative. So we're really looking to harness that at my best energy and direct it towards the thing that you are creating, or the transformation that you are making happen, to bring this new dimension into your life 2.0, the next iteration, the even better version. Make sense? Now, before we get into some brainstorming, good, Mary, before we get into some brainstorming and generating options, let's just take a little detour into values and beliefs and get the cogs turning with the old Cartesian coordinates. So we'll start with values and beliefs. These are the deep programs that run beneath the surface. They drive a lot of what we do, and when our energy is blocked, it can sometimes be because of a belief that needs to shift or come into alignment. When we are moving towards something, perhaps without so much conscious intention, it can sometimes be because there is a deep driver carrying us in a direction without our totally being at the reins of ourselves. So these questions are designed to help us notice, to bring into awareness those programs running under the surface. It's like the bottom part of the iceberg. We just see the top, which is our behaviours and our actions. But underneath the water, there is all of this stuff going on. And this next set of questions is designed to catch some of that and help bring it into your field of vision so that you can choose, how do I want to work with this? And we have pulled card 8, which is oh, it's the awareness card. So hear this. This is probably going to be important. We hide things from ourselves. Sometimes it's too uncomfortable to bring them into the light of our awareness and be challenged on them. So gird yourself. Sometimes we hide these things from others as well, rather than be confronted on something difficult that might force us to change. This card is asking us to bring those things to the surface and into the light. And it may feel uncomfortable, but if these things are in our field of awareness, we get to decide, does this serve me? How do I want to move forward in intention? So, the first question in this Values and Beliefs awareness card is, what do you not want to be asked in relation to this? What do you not want to be asked? What haven't you admitted out loud yet? It's in there. Maybe it's nibbling at the edges of your brain. Maybe it's on the tip of your tongue. Get it out. Say it out loud. Bring it into the light of your awareness. What haven't you admitted out loud yet? If it feels uncomfortable, be with it. This is a very supportive energy space here in the Accountability Clubhouse. So get it out. Be with it. Notice what it unlocks for you. What are you secretly gaining by not making the change? There is a concept called secondary gain. When I procrastinate and don't do the thing that I keep not getting to, it's because I'm getting something out of not doing it. There is always secondary gain. Bringing it into awareness helps us do something about it and come into alignment. What are you secretly gaining by not making the change? You might as well be honest with yourself. You don't have to tell anyone, but tell yourself. Who or what is benefiting by you not making this change? Give that some thought. Who is benefiting from you not making this change? What is benefiting from you not making this change? What are you gaining? What haven't you admitted? Is everyone okay? I shall move on. Everyone okay with awareness questions? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're okay with all of that. They're a little bit edgy, those ones. They encourage us to dig fairly deep. So, Cartesian coordinates. We have a new one today that we haven't run before, and it is called potential. So, just a reminder, Cartesian coordinates, thanks Judy for confirming you're okay. These deliberately muddle our language centres and drop us into new wiring in the mind. So they can be a great precursor to generating options, to coming up with new ideas, because they kind of confuse our wiring. And many of you may know this, but habit, regular day-to-day life, creates neural pathways that get deeper and deeper and deeper with repetition. And so we end up thinking the same way, thinking the same things, kind of falling into habits unintentionally. And there are ways we can trick our mind out of those neural grooves and break them into sort of new channels, new pathways, new ways of thinking. And that's what this particular set of questions is designed to do. So the first question in the set is, what is the upside of keeping the problem? This is a bit like the awareness questions that I was just asking. What is the upside of keeping this problem? Judy, hopefully you're back and you can see me again now. The Wi-Fi looks good. Ooh, I keep pausing. My Wi-Fi looks strong, so I'm going to persist and hope that you guys can get me okay. What's the upside of keeping this problem? And what's the downside of keeping this problem? What's the upside of solving this problem? What's the upside of solving this problem? And what's the downside of solving this problem? So notice what that has brought up. Upside of keeping the problem, downside of keeping the problem. Upside of solving the problem, downside of solving the problem. Notice what that brings up for you. Should prompt some new insight, or it might prompt some new insight. With those new insights in mind, let's have a look at some possible ways forward. You don't have to do any of these things, but let's explore for a moment. The card we've got under options is pragmatism. This is about cutting through the clutter and complexity and finding a path forward. It's a sign that you want to keep things simple and just find a way to make headway, remembering that good energy, the energy of being at your best as you do so. So, what is the most simple and direct route you could take to make some progress? So what would the simplest and most direct route be if you could do something? What one small step could you take to move forward along that simple and direct path? What's the teensiest step you could take? Make it nice and straightforward for yourself. Let's also look at if you gave this your exclusive focus. So if you did nothing else but focus on this, what could you get done? Just imagine you just cleared out all of the other stuff and channeled all of your energy into this particular area. What could you get done? And finally, you have 2 hours to work on this week. How are you going to use those 2 hours? What are you going to do? So we are making an assumption that you can find 2 hours to give to this. How are you going to spend those 2 hours? I have just noticed that of the cards I've pulled this week, 3 with a number 8 and 2 with a number 3. That's a lot of 3s and a lot of 8s. What do the numbers 3 and 8 mean to you? So finally, let's look at a way forward. These are about the commitments you can take to action. Just one thing, one commitment that you can take forward. There is a truth in the universe that the time to take action is when you feel the same level of fear and excitement as excitement, when those two things are in equal balance. So we're going to look at actions you can take. And if they aren't a little bit scary as well as a little bit exciting, then perhaps you're not being courageous enough with yourself. So the way forward action this week is learning. There is something you need to learn or develop to move forward. This card is encouraging you to develop yourself so that you are ready and able to make that change. And remember, this week it's all about bringing something into creation. So this is about setting yourself up with the skills and abilities to make that real. So the first question is, how are you going to develop yourself? If you think about the 2 hours that we just spoke about in that pragmatic way forward, what if those 2 hours were spent in some kind of learning and development? What would they be? How are you going to develop yourself? What are you going to go and learn about straight away after this video? Let us know in the chat. What is your mantra for success going to be this week? And if you're stuck for one, how about this? It can be done and I can do it. It can be done and I can do it. But come up with your own. Share your mantras. And what topic can you not get enough of when it comes to learning? What could you learn about till the cows come home that would continue to help and feed you? So there we are. That is this week's session. A lot about creation, a lot about learning, and a lot about being really honest with ourselves about what might need to change and what might be holding us back. She believed she could, so she did. That's one of your beautiful artworks, isn't it, Judy? Yeah. It can be done and I can do it. She believed she could, so she did. Personal development is my thing. Yeah. Be more with less. These are lovely. Good for you. Great mantras. Feel free to borrow each other's to create more and have a really hearty, productive, wonderful week. You will notice I'm still at 1 p.m. GMT for these sessions. I am still giving serious consideration to moving the time to an evening slot. That is currently the most popular front runner in the poll. If you have not yet voted in the poll for your preferred time, please go and cast a vote, because what I'd love to do is not lose any of you that come to the lunchtime session by moving it to the evening, but it would be great to accommodate as many people as possible for these sessions. Breathe, connect, deliver. I'm loving these mantras. I particularly like breathe. We could all use a bit of that now and again. My pleasure, Mary, and thank you all for being here. If you're watching on replay, I hope that you found it useful, and I will see you in a week's time. Look out for notifications in case I change the time, but certainly we will be on the Monday at some point next week. Lovely to be with you all, and see you again soon. Bye-bye.